Dr. Manenji Mangundu is the head of the Norwegian Refugee Council in Burkina Faso. He joins me from the capital, Ouagadougou. Thank you so much for joining us. Dr. Mangundu, where are all the displaced people ending up? And what kind of support are they getting from the government or aid agencies?
Yeah, thank you very much for having me. Most of the IDPs, the people in displacement, they end up in the areas where they think they feel safer and where there's some sense of security. And if you look at the geographical setup of Burkina Faso, bordering Mali and Niger, those borders are a little bit porous. So that's where most of the attacks occur, and the people, they seem to run away deeper into the other parts of Burkina Faso. So in terms of the humanitarian assistance, we are trying our level best as humanitarian actors to provide assistance in terms of food, water, sanitation, health, and also protection through protection monitoring and reporting, and working with the government to ensure that at least we advocate for protection of those people that are in displacement. But what we are seeing now is that due to the challenges that we have in terms of funding, the challenge we have in terms of the capacity to quickly register those people, we are playing a catch-up game where we are saying we are not keeping abreast with the displacement. This is also due to the challenges we have in funding. For example, this year, we only received 1/4 of the total appeal money of more than 600 million.
You know, we're also hearing about looming food shortages because violent attacks have kept farmers from planting. What is being done to improve the security of the people there? I know you're working on aid and all, but these people need to also be able to sustain themselves.
Yeah, this is the biggest challenge that we are also observing, because most of the people that are in displacement, they are willing to go back and do their farming. For example, this year, the rains are very good in Burkina Faso, but access to those fields is a challenge. Most of the people, some of the people that have gone back, they quickly run back again because they are facing attacks, repeated attacks in their villages, so they could not continue doing their farming. But we are also seeing where the government has tried to put in place the voluntary defense forces that are supporting the military. We are also seeing that as well, though they are trying to do that, but it has not helped much, because we are observing that maybe the armed groups, they are more power, they are much more, they have they are well equipped, and they can also, attack these VDPs that are in the local villages, and they expel them very easily. So it's a big challenge. So the food crisis for this year, it's not because the rains were bad, but it's because the people cannot go back and do their farming, because they can't access those areas because of the armed group presence.
Dr. Mangundu, let's talk about how the government is handling this crisis. President Christian Kabore recently sacked the Ministers of Defense and Security in response to the attacks. Has the cabinet reshuffle helped reduce the violent attacks, do you think?
Some of those things, maybe I cannot comment, but we are saying, if you look at the scale up of the repeated attacks that are occurring, maybe there's something that even the international community needs to do to support. We are saying, if all of us, we are committed to providing humanitarian response, providing development in those marginalized areas, then maybe all of us will contribute towards peace.
Right. I know my directors are saying that we should wrap this up, but let me quickly ask you, why do you think this story has gone largely unnoticed? How do you lose 500 people in a couple of weeks, and it's really not making the headlines as it ought to?
Yeah, I think if you look at the way it started developing in Burkina Faso has been relatively calm, and everybody was taken by surprise when this humanitarian crisis started evolving. There was no much talking about the crisis here, because it was being overshadowed by other huge humanitarian crises in Syria, in DRC, in Yemen, and I think the visibility in terms of human crisis was not well covered in Burkina Faso.
Thank you so much, Dr. Manenji Mangundu, the head of the Norwegian Refugee Council in Burkina Faso. Thank you so much for your insight.